So, some breaking news coming out. It looks like Ruben Amorim has been potentially offered a way out of Manchester United, with Benfica looking at bringing him in and watching him, apparently. It's an interesting story that doesn't fully make sense to me, but it has come out from a semi-reputable source. Amorim, according to Fabrizio Romano, thinks that the bad results are down to player mentality. And I think, some of it is down to player mentality and some of it is down to player ability. But I think it's more than just one thing to blame. Amorim's job apparently not under pressure. Apparently he's very safe despite his 25% win record. And I've seen some statistics on Amorim which are slightly concerning. Now, I think all of the following are true. Amorim does not have the players for his system. Absolutely true. Amorim's system works at Sporting. He doesn't have the players to do that at Manchester United. And when he does have the players to do that at Manchester United, it could very much work. But right now, Amorim isn't doing enough to show me and fill me with confidence. Both can be true. The players aren't good enough. The players lack the mentality. But I do think Amorim could be doing a better job. So let's talk about Amorim being offered away out of Manchester United. Breaking. So this came from Chris Wheeler. Ruben Amorim could be offered an escape from Manchester United after the leading candidate to become Benfica's next president turned up at the Etihad to watch Sunday's derby. It was said that João Lopez has made no secret of his plans to take Amorim back to Benfica if he usurps Rui Costa in next month's elections and is currently ahead in the polls. So Amorim potentially could be offered a way out of Manchester United, with Benfica coming in for him. And look, this is a bit of a weird story. This is a bit of this guy's watching this guy and he might be this guy and he might be this guy. And there's not loads in this story 100%. So you'd have to take it with an element of pinch of salt. But Ruben Amorim has said in interviews, sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I hate my players. After the Brighton loss, Ruben Amorim wanted to quit Manchester United and Ineos convinced him to stay. That's when he broke the TV. He had that rant allegedly. Apparently he wanted to quit Man United and Ineos said, this is a long-term project. We're backing you over the players. Please stay. Ruben Amorim did want to quit at that time. And, Ruben Amorim quitting if he's given another opportunity, you cannot rule that out. He said, I will quit. Do not give me compensation if he doesn't feel he's the man to take the club forward. And right now, it is hard to believe that Ruben Amorim is the man to take Manchester United forward and is the man to take the club forward, if we're being totally honest. Look, I'd love Ruben Amorim to make it work. I'd love Ruben Amorim to succeed at Manchester United because I'm fed up of rebuild after rebuild, after changing manager after changing manager, and we don't seem to get any better for it. But I do look at Manchester United and go, we don't have the squad to play the way Ruben Amorim wants to play, and that's not completely Ruben Amorim's fault. So if I'm Ruben Amorim, I adapt the way I want to play to my best players' strengths, put Bruno in his best role, put Maino in his best role, do what I can until I get the players in next season to play the way I want to play. Because Ruben Amorim's way of playing can work, but not with these current crop of players. And right now, if it looks like we're going to get relegated, change the way you want to play until you get the players that you want, and then go and play this way. But Ruben Amorim doesn't think there's anything wrong with the way he's playing because it worked at Sporting, but it's not working at United. And Ruben Amorim is convinced the problem is the mentality of the team and not its system. Ruben Amorim's system can work with the right players and could work at a different club. Glasner has a very similar system at Crystal Palace. It could work. It worked at Sporting. But it is not working at Manchester United because in the 31-game sample size, he has 31 points. West Ham have picked up more points in that period and they're screaming for their manager out. I think both are problems. I think the mentality of players is a problem. The ability of players is a problem. Ruben Amorim not getting a midfielder is a massive problem, and that is on Ineos. But the system is also a problem. I think both can be true. I think it's a case of you give Amorim the right players, his system could work. But also Amorim as a manager has got to realise after 31 games and us being bottom of the Premier League for points picked up across the last 31 games of teams that's been in there the last 2 seasons, that maybe he should change the system until he gets the players to make it work. Eric Ten Hag lost his first 2 games as Man United manager. He lost 4-0 to Brentford. He changed the system in his first season to maximise his players, came third, won a Carabao Cup. Second season, tried to do what he wanted to do. It didn't work. But sometimes you just adapt to your players' strengths. That's what Arne Slot did when he came into Liverpool and he won the league because he didn't get the players he wants. Both can be true. The mentality of the team is poor. There's a lot of games like Arsenal I don't think we deserve to lose. Fulham game, we were very close to winning that game. The first 15 minutes of every game this season has been good and it has been tight margins, you could say, in that sense. the mentality of the team is a problem. Not finishing chances is a problem. Not having a good enough goalkeeper is a problem. Not having a midfielder is a problem. But I do think Ruben Amorim can't completely blame everything on his players and does need to take some responsibility and look to change things. Now, interestingly, despite this potential Benfica offer, Manchester United officials have repeatedly stressed that they regard Ruben Amorim's appointment as a long-term project, and nothing communicated in the aftermath of Sunday's loss is at odds with that. So despite Ruben Amorim losing pretty badly to Manchester City, his position is not under threat, which is just crazy to believe, because don't get me wrong, it would be crazy to sack a manager after 4 games, after spending all that money on him in the summer and not giving him time, when you know that this is a manager you've got to give time. When we brought Ruben Amorim in, we knew it was going to take a lot of money, a lot of players, and we need to give him time. We knew that with Ruben Amorim when we brought him in. So yeah, it would be crazy to sack him after 4 games and not give him the run out, not give him time. My problem and my fear is, are we delaying the inevitable? I want Ruben Amorim to beat Chelsea. I want Ruben Amorim to make it work. I want Ruben Amorim to make its system work. But because Ruben Amorim is so stubborn on what he's doing, I don't feel like it's going to work. And in 5 games' time, when we've lost 4 of our next 5 games, they then sack him, and we've wasted 4 games, for example, on just trying to see if this works. That is the question. Because, yeah, he won't change. He said he won't change. 31 points in 31 games. This is my fear, and this is my sort of question over it is, I don't want to sack a manager 4 games into the season. This is a manager that needs time. To make it work, he needs time. But, like, is he going to change? Is he going to give us something to show he needs time? At least with Ten Hag, and people say, Alice, you didn't turn on Ten Hag at all in the second season when it was bad. Ten Hag's second season was bad, but we won an FA Cup and finished 8th. That's a lot better than what we've seen under Ruben Amorim. And the reason I gave Ten Hag his second season, despite how bad it was, is because in his first season, he came 3rd and won a trophy. Ruben Amorim's first season was 15th and not winning a trophy. It has been said that patience is the key word with Manchester United. Ruben Amorim won't change his style, and United have no plans or desire to change the head coach. However, all sides have said the current woes cannot continue long term. This reminds me of when they said the same about Ten Hag this time last year, and then 5 games later they sacked him. They're going to give him patience, but I think Ineos's patience is November international break. I think they've got 5-6 more games in them, and if after 5-6 more games they're not seeing changes, he could go. Amorim won't change his style, and United have no plans to change the head coach. Of course they don't want to change the head coach. They spent a lot of money to bring Amorim in. It's going to cost a lot of money to get rid of him. They spent a lot of money on him. He plays a back 5. If we sack Amorim, I want a manager that plays a back 4. I want a manager that plays a back 4 because I think our squad suits a back 4. But we spent all this money on players that suit Amorim's system to actually still missing out goalkeeper, still missing out a midfielder, to not get better. I don't want to sack Amorim, all the money that's spent. But if we do sack Amorim, we need a back 4 manager, in my opinion. And I think right now it's a case of they're not going to sack Amorim after this City game. They're not going to sack him after Chelsea. But if we do come to Christmas time and we're in that relegation zone, I think he will be sacked. And you can't blame him for that. Even if you feel he should be given more time, even if you feel we need to stop sacking managers every year, I get that. It's annoying to keep sacking managers. But there's a difference between not being good and being 8th and not being good and being in a relegation battle. Ruben Amorim retains the support of Manchester United's hierarchy. A source close to Amorim admits it's incredible that his position is not under genuine threat. There's reports saying his position is not under genuine threat. Samuel Luckhurst likes to bait people with his reports a bit. He likes to write reports that he knows is going to get a reaction to. So do take that with a pinch of salt. But he is a well-informed journalist. And he said that Ruben Amorim retains the support of United, which has been said by many sources. But apparently his position is not under any threat yet. I feel like his position is under threat. I think he's safe for a few more games, but I don't feel like he's 100% safe. I know that Ineos wanted to get rid of Ten Hag originally, and that's why Ten Hag went quite early last season. But I do think if it looks like we're going to get relegated by Christmas time, I think surely he goes. And this is one of my fears, because Leeds, Burnley and Sunderland look a lot better than Southampton, Ipswich and Leicester did coming up this season. They do. And if one of those teams is better, we could go down, because since Amorim has taken over in 31 games, he's picked up 31 points. Tottenham have picked up the same, but have a much better goal difference. West Ham have picked up 34. West Ham and Wolves are the 2 clubs people talk about going down. Yeah? They've picked up more points than us since Amorim has come in. They are, in the last 31 games, they've picked up more points than us. Amorim's sample size of 31 games is nearly a full season, which means if the promoted sides are good and Sunderland are not good, we're the favourites to go down. We are the that's ridiculous. I don't think we will go down. I think we've done enough and we have enough quality to stay at 100%. But we should be talking about finishing top 8 bare minimum this season with 1 game a week with the money that's been spent. We shouldn't be talking about, can we finish above West Ham and Wolves? Tottenham will be above us. Can we finish above West Ham and Wolves? We shouldn't be talking like that. That's a horrendous statistic from Ruben Amorim. That obviously this doesn't have Sunderland, Leeds, Leicester, Ipswich. It's teams that have been in the Premier League both seasons that Amorim have been there. But since Amorim's taken over, nobody's got less points than us. If we're looking at teams that have been in the Premier League every season since Amorim's been here. And that's scary. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.